Don't you just love it when you're wrong and the whole earth freezes over? Okay, maybe not. Hi, it's David from Learn Christmas Lighting. And if you've existed in 2022 in the Christmas light hobby, you might have seen so far a lot of kerfluffling, that's the best term for it, with controllers. So we started our year off and controllers were really hard to come by. And that still is somewhat the case, though, as I predicted earlier this year, I'm not saying I was right. I mean, I don't want to, get my head too big, but, at the start of this year, Falcon from pixelcontroller.com and their V4 controllers, as well as Kulp at kulplights.com, were completely out of stock. People were freaking out. They were like, it's February. How am I going to get something for my Christmas season show? Well, turns out Pixel controllers have gone and come in and out of stock. So right now, for example, I'm seeing Pixel controller doesn't have, let's see, some of that's the V3 stuff, V4 series. A lot of their stuff's out of stock, but they've been in stock. I don't know where they went. But they've gone in and out of stock within the season. And, that's okay. And I know he moved things around on his site and now half the lights don't work. Cool. But regardless, his controllers have gone in and out of stock. So like we've got the F16 V4 and there should be an F48 V4 around here somewhere. Yep. They're both out of stock today when I record this, but they're saying limited supply in 4 to 5 weeks, shipping 2 to 3 weeks. So not bad considering it's July and our shows typically start in October or November. All right. Kulp, on the other hand, I know I saw that the 40s were in stock. Let's see here real quick. So they've got a lot of options. Okay, 16, 32, 40. So, some of these are in stock, right? Like these K8s are. They're even are the Beagle Bones in stock, etc. The one thing that hasn't come back in stock are Raspberry Pis. The Beagle Bones have, but a lot of these Kulp controllers are in stock. The Beagle Bones, the Pocket Beagles, they're in stock. Raspberry Pis haven't been in stock, but here's what's been interesting about this year in controllers. Okay, while things have come back in stock from where they were, which is great news, there's been some problems where, about, say, May 19th, aka like a couple days after I posted my review of this controller, the Kurt controller, and his Pocket Beagle based controllers. A couple days, I think, after that review posted, or maybe actually, I think I recorded it before the announcement. Then this announcement came out. Then the video came out. FPP came out, the developers, and they said, hey, in the next version of FPP, if you're not using the Kulp or the Falcon, pretty much, you're going to have to pay for a license. And at first, it wasn't clear what that cost was going to look like. Okay, so I want to walk through this announcement, help you understand what's going on and why you don't really need to panic. And basically, with FPP V6, so you can run V5, you can run V4, which in the past, a V5 and a V4 could work together on the same show. No problem. I imagine that would be in the future too. However, they said, hey, V6, if you're not using a Kulp or you're not using a Falcon, then you're paying to license this software in order to run it. And so, I just put out this review on the Kurt controller and we're like, oh no, we're going to have to pay a license fee. Now, Kurt, this guy, super nice guy. Anybody who's met him in person has said that. From the get-go has said that he's donating to FPP with every controller sale. So in our minds, we were like, everybody was like, okay, this guy's safe, right? He'll be fine. And that's true. That's mostly true. Okay, let's talk about it. So basically, 2022 is the year of the controller madness because we started the year no controllers in stock. Then they came in stock or are in limited stock. And then because they weren't in stock, we got all these other controllers, right? So ESP Artstick, Micro CYB came out with these Raspberry Pi based controllers. Of course, right now you can't really find a Pi, but they'll come back. Maybe not till next year. And they came out with short and long range controllers based on the Pi. Then Wally's Lights with Scott Hansen came out with the controller, okay, and it looks pretty cool too. It's looks like it's Beagle Bones based, okay, and we started to see there's other ones out there. These were just the ones I thought off the top of my head, where instead of having like two brands of controllers that were the only ones that were like really popular, I know, there's other brands. There's the Sand Devices, there's the Advatech. I know, but the really popular ones were the Kulps and the Falcons, right? And some people use the Hinks picks. Again, not my favorite. They work fine. Sometimes they're weird to configure, but I've done videos on that. So now we've got all these controllers and we've got this licensing fee. And how does this all work? And how does this affect your show this season? All right. So the big good news is just stop freaking out. Okay. When I first saw this, I thought about license keys. And of course, I come from the world of stage lighting. And when you go to licensed software, you have a software that requires a license key that you got to pay for. I mean, you could be talking anywhere from a couple $100 to thousands of dollars for that license key, right? And so somebody like me goes and reads this and goes, oh, you need a license key. Then what's going to happen? Is the world going to explode? Is this going to become where buying the Kurt or this one from the ESP Artstick people, or this one from Wally's Lights, is it going to become that if I go to buy one of these, sure, the controller's an okay price, but then in order to use it with FPP, I've got to pay this licensing fee, and that's going to make it prohibitively more expensive than the Falcons or the Kulps. Okay, so the good news is that's not the case at all. Okay, so if we go to the license keys, they've got an FAQ here, by the way, on the license keys page. And FAQs, I just want to buy them. Shop license keys. An FPP for 8 outputs is $10. For 16 outputs is $15. For 48 outputs is $30. So at the end of the day, this is not that expensive. And so if you're looking between different controllers, sure. If you're not getting the Falcon or the Kulp, then you can check with whoever you're buying it from. For example, like Kurt, I know he hasn't updated his page, but he would mention that he donates to FPP in order for this to happen. And I think he's making an announcement. He's mentioned it before. Maybe he's bundling a license, maybe not. These other guys, maybe Wally's or Micro CYB or anybody else you run into, they are going to let you know whether you need one or you don't need one. Okay. And if you need a license, you just got to go, okay, hey, if this is the case, then they're going to tell you if you need to buy one yourself or if they're going to include one. So Wally's Lights, I appreciate Ryan. He always does good stuff. And he says, hey, after July 31st, which this video will come out after, when you do have to get a license, they're going to include that in the cost. So it's a $30, or this is a 16 output. No, it's a 32 output. So that would be a $30 addition. And he's going to add that on the cost. So let's just look for a minute at this. Okay, so the Wally's Lights, this is 16 outs locally, and then 4 differential and 2 DMX outputs. I haven't looked over it extensively to see if the DMX is like tied to one of the differential outputs, like if you lose the long range output, if you do the DMX. I haven't looked at that, but we're at 32 strings. So the license key for that is $30. So instead of a $190 controller, this is now a $220 controller. Okay, well, let's just compare. So that would be pretty similar to an F16 V4, which that page doesn't work, which is $275. And does the Wally's Lights include the Pocket Beagle? It does. So ultimately, and if we go to the Kulp side, then it's going to be similar to where is my page? I lost it. It's going to be similar to a K16. And yeah, a K16 with the Beagle Bone, and I can't remember if he had the SD card. A Beagle Bone, a K16 is going to come in a little bit less than the Wally's Lights controller. So ultimately, at the end of the day, my point here in this video is there's no need to freak out. There's no need to worry. Yes, you might need a license key if you're not using one of the Kulp or Pixel Controller branded Falcons with FPP, But also don't worry about it, because it's either going to be a really close cost. I mean, when you think about like down to the per pixel cost, it's nothing. In addition, it's almost the same cost. It's like cents different, right? And so overall, no need to freak out. Just be aware. If you do get a controller that is not a Kulp or a Falcon, check with whoever you're buying it from. See if they're bundling that license in, or if that's something you have to add afterwards. And then that's all that matters. It's really not going to change the world. It's not going to make everybody freak out. Everything's going to be okay. All right. And so, hey, if you enjoyed this video, check out the links below to all the controllers we mentioned. We'll link to them, and there will certainly be more in the future. Also, I'm considering building a little calculator where you can put in how many ports you need and how many pixels per port, and then it would recommend controllers for you, and then you could go compare them. Anyways, just a thought. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's a great idea. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and Merry Christmas!